In the heart of Cebu City, where jeepneys roar and street vendors fill the air with the smell of grilled corn and roasted peanuts, a small group of school children gathers after class. Their clothes are worn, their shoes mismatched, but their spirits are unbreakable. Under the flickering streetlights, they move to the rhythm of a tiny speaker that crackles with sound. Their teacher, Miss Althea, watches from a distance, her heart swelling with both pride and sadness. These children, Ella, Jomar, Leah, and Carlo, come from families who struggle every day just to eat, yet they find joy in every beat of the music. Sometimes, they dance barefoot on the cold pavement, their laughter echoing through the narrow streets. It isn't about fame or trophies for them, it's about hope. Miss Althea often reminds them, talent is a gift, but heart is what makes it shine. And so, every evening, they practice beneath the dim glow of a broken lamppost, turning their small world into a stage. Neighbors stop to watch, clapping and cheering, offering coins and kind words. One night, as they finish their routine, a man from Manila passing through the area stops, deeply moved by their performance. "You should be on TV," he says softly. The children exchange surprised looks, eyes wide, hearts racing. In that moment, beneath the Cebu night sky, their dream begins to flicker alive like the light above them, fragile yet unstoppable. The day of the audition arrived, and the children from Cebu could hardly believe they were standing backstage at Philippines Got Talent 2025. The grand lights of Manila felt overwhelming, brighter than anything they had ever seen. Ella clutched Miss Althea's hand tightly, her tiny fingers trembling with nervous energy. "Ma'am, what if we forget the steps?" she whispered. Miss Althea smiled gently and placed a hand on her shoulder. "Then you dance from your heart," she replied. Around them, other contestants rehearsed loudly, some with perfect costumes and professional makeup. In contrast, the Cebu kids wore simple white shirts with ribbons they made themselves. But what they lacked in glamour, they carried in spirit. As the host called their group's name, the children looked at each other, their fear melting into courage. They huddled together, whispering a short prayer, the same one they said before every practice: "Lord, let them feel our story." When the stage doors opened, a sea of faces and cameras awaited. The bright lights blinded them for a second, but as the music began, all worries disappeared. Leah took the lead step, her bare feet touching the polished stage for the first time. The crowd grew silent, curious, expectant. Somewhere in the audience, an American tourist watching the show live-streamed it, saying, "You guys need to see this." What started as a local dream in Cebu was now seconds away from touching hearts across the world. As the first notes of the music echoed through the theater, the children from Cebu transformed. Gone were the shy smiles and trembling hands. Every step, every turn, every glance carried the weight of their stories. Their dance told of struggle and hope, of hunger and laughter, of children who dreamed even when the world forgot them. Leah, the youngest, danced at the front, her eyes glistening with tears. She remembered the nights she twirled in their small home to distract her siblings from the rumble of empty stomachs. Each move was a message, one of strength and survival. The audience leaned forward, captivated by their raw emotion. The judges, usually stern and silent, found themselves lost in the performance. Midway through, the music softened, and Ella stepped forward, raising her hands toward the light, symbolizing faith amid hardship. The crowd was silent, not wanting to miss a single heartbeat of the story unfolding before them. Even the camera operators seemed frozen, capturing not just a performance, but a moment of pure truth. When the final beat dropped, the children fell to their knees, breathless, eyes glistening with tears. For a moment, the world stood still, no applause, no movement, just awe. Then, the entire theater erupted in thunderous cheers and applause. Strangers wiped their eyes, parents hugged their children, and one judge whispered, that was more than talent. In that instant, the kids realized they hadn't just performed, they had touched souls. Halfway through the dance, just as the crowd was lost in the rhythm, a sudden slip broke the magic. Carlo, the smallest boy in the group, stumbled and fell hard to the floor. The audience gasped, and for a heartbeat, time froze. Miss Althea's breath caught in her throat, fearing everything they had worked for would collapse in that single moment. But before she could even blink, something beautiful happened. Leah, still dancing, reached out her hand and helped Carlo up, never missing a beat. The rest of the group formed a circle around him, turning the fall into part of the choreography, as if it had been planned all along. The audience didn't see a mistake anymore, they saw compassion, teamwork, and love. Carlo, wiping a tear from his cheek, smiled and rejoined the dance with new energy, his spirit reignited by his friend's kindness. The crowd began to cheer even before the music ended, sensing they had witnessed something truly human. One of the judges leaned forward, whispering to another, "That's what real art is, it's not about perfection, it's about heart." By the time the children hit their final pose, hand in hand, the audience was on their feet, clapping and crying. What had started as a small stumble became the most powerful moment of their performance, a reminder that even when we fall, love and unity can lift us higher than we ever imagined. As the final note faded into silence, the children stood frozen on stage, their chests rising and falling with exhaustion and disbelief. Then, slowly, the crowd began to rise, first a few people, then the entire theater erupted in applause so loud it shook the walls. Tears streamed down Miss Althea's face as she covered her mouth, unable to believe what she was seeing. The judges stood too, clapping, their eyes glistening with emotion. One of them leaned forward, his voice trembling. "That," he said, "is what this show is all about." Suddenly, a loud metallic clang echoed, the golden buzzer had been pressed. The audience gasped as a shower of gold confetti burst into the air, raining down on the stage like blessings from heaven. The children screamed in shock, some crying, some laughing uncontrollably, as they hugged one another tightly. Carlo lifted Leah into the air, both of them glowing under the golden rain. The judges joined them on stage, wiping away tears, saying how their story and performance reminded everyone of hope, courage, and unity. Cameras flashed from every corner, and within minutes, clips of their moment began spreading online, reaching millions across the Philippines and the USA. Comment sections filled with words like, "This restored my faith in humanity." In that instant, the children of Cebu were no longer just dreamers, they had become symbols of resilience, proof that pure hearts could shine brighter than any spotlight. Weeks after their unforgettable golden buzzer moment, the children returned to Cebu as heroes. The entire community gathered at San Isidro Elementary, waving handmade banners that read, "Proud of you," and "Cebu's Golden Stars." For the first time, the kids saw their city not through struggle, but through celebration. Donations poured in from viewers across the Philippines and even the USA, new school supplies, uniforms, and food for their families. Their once cracked classroom walls were being repainted, and the same flickering streetlight where they once practiced now shone brighter, newly repaired by a local electrician who said, "It deserves to light up dreams." Miss Althea stood beside her students, her heart full. Reporters asked her what made their story so special, and she smiled softly. "Because they didn't dance for fame," she said. "They danced for hope, and that hope touched the world." The children looked around at their parents, neighbors, and friends, realizing how far love and courage had carried them. That night, as they gathered under the Cebu sky, gold confetti from their performance still clutched in their hands, Leah whispered, "Do you think the stars saw us too?" Miss Althea nodded, her eyes shining. "They always did." Their laughter echoed through the streets once more, not from dreams of escape, but from pride in where they came from. Theirs was no longer just a performance, it was a legacy of kindness, unity, and the unstoppable light of the human spirit.